Hey guys and girls. Today, yeah. Well, where do I start? Been back. This is the first day back off my off holiday. Well, the first-ish day, I suppose. Yesterday was a sleep day, so it was just asleep. But today I thought, I'll get the, I'll get sorted out, and start working on my car again. So today what I've done is I have wax soled the passenger sill, which is the passenger in the UK, obviously. Wax soled the passenger sill, hence all the wax salt all over the floor. So I forgot to put the panels back inside, as you can see. But yeah, I wax soled the sill. Took the carpet out just about here. Underneath the carpet there is a little rubber grommet which you can take out and poke the line up and down, and do the inner sill and the outer sill. Still not got my doors yet, but that'll come soon on the 5th. Still dripping. But yeah, I've wax soled the sill. Wheels still not sorted yet, but I'm not too fussed. And I've started now work on the wiper motor. Well, not really the wiper motor, but more so the wiper spline. If we go into the back of the garage. Ouch! I just hit the door with my arm. Yeah, so the motor's fine, everything's all good. I didn't bother re-greasing anything inside there because the grease looked pretty good inside it. I've just moved it all around so it re-greased it all. Dropping things on the floor. So what I'm going to do is try and fix that spline there. Now, that spline here, as you can see, it's had holes drilled into it and everything, but because... come on, autofocus, stop playing about. If I lock that to that, there we go. And now then, as you can see on here, we've got a outer and an inner. Now the inner bit there is hardened steel, so you can drill through it a bit of the way, but you get stuck. And then this, I think, is just aluminium. Or aluminum, if you're American. No offence, guys. Of course. But with it being hardened steel inside, you can't drill all the way through it. So what I'm going to try and do is... I'm wondering if I could get a bolt to go all the way through that. These are only mild steel, so I could just weld them back on again. That's plastic though, but it's on a collar, so it's alright. If I can get a bolt to go all the way through this and through that, if I could get it so that what it does is bolt on instead of just a push-on fit, which would be a lot more to my, well, a lot more better, so to speak. I just wish I had the Cinquecento still, because I could then compare the two splines and see if a Cinquecento spline, just that bit there, would fit on this Fiat Panda type mount. If it did, that would have been hunky-dory, because what I could have done was nick this spline part, just this bit that goes through. It's a very awkward shape. So from this here, push that through and extract the spline from out of there, and then just stuck the Cinquecento one through there. I don't know how hard it's going to be to do it. I'm going to have a go, stick it in the vise and give it a good whacking with the hammer. Hammer fixes everything, and see what that does. I mean, if the worst goes to the worst, it is hardened steel, but it's only a wiper at the end of the day, so I could just weld it. And if things really do get bad, what I'll do is I'll just cut it off here and weld it to a bolt or something, like at the top up here somewhere, and then just find a different wiper. We will see. We will see. So I'll have a go and see what comes of it. Okay then, guys and girls. Well, what I've done is I've taken it all to bits, as you can see. Motor is out and whatnot. Unfortunately, I actually snapped this. Trying to take it out of this thing. You can see that fits in there. That's the bit I snapped off, but I'm not too fussed because it's weldable. But I don't want that. That can be thrown away. What I've done instead is I'm going to use this bolt. Now it's a different way of doing it, I know, but I've gone around the bolt and made a little ridge in that, a little lip for that rubber grommet thing to sit in. Grommet, you know. There's one on that one there. You can't really see it. There we go. Quite towards the top. Now, unfortunately, I did this a bit wrong. The top of this is about there. I could really do with doing it again, but in fact I could do with just using a new bolt. But this'll do for now. I will cut another groove around there, and I'll probably put two in there just for make it a bit more steady, because it is a bit floppy in that. There's a lot of play in there, as you can see. You can hear it. And when you put that one in there, it's not got as much play. So what my plan is to use these rubber washers to try and take up the play. I'm obviously going to pack this full of silicone grease as well, because it had none in it before. So I'll pack it full of silicone grease. I wanted to use stainless steel bolt, but unfortunately none of the stainless steel bolts that we've got were long enough. So this one will do. And then it will be a case of either drilling that out and just putting the bolt straight through and welding it, or just cutting the head off this bolt and just welding it to that side there. Just welding it to that after I cleaned it up a bit. We will see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and then I've also got the wiper arm, which is just going to have a hole drilled out in the top of that, and a stainless steel bolt put on it. Because the end of that nut of that bolt there is going to be poking out just a bit. So I'm just going to put the bolt through it. It's not going to look very pretty. Not as nice as what the original one looked like, but at least my wiper will work again, and it'll go through MOT that way. So yes, we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, I had to take all this off. It's just pot riveted on, but I can soon pot rivet that back on there again, no problem. We'll see. Alright guys, keep watching. Okay guys and girls, right then, what I've done, look, is I've welded that onto there now. I've cut two grooves into that, which is where the two rubber washers are going to sit, to stop any water from going in, and to also make it so it's not wibbly wobbly. But of course you've got this bit here, which is meant for that size. So what I did was I cut a bit of a bean tin, and you can see in there, just literally cut it to size using some tin snips. You could use a pair of scissors if you've got some heavy duty scissors, because that's what them things are. If you've got some real heavy duty scissors, you could probably just about cut through that. And I just wrapped it around this smaller bolt here to get it perfectly round. And then I just wrapped it around this one here. So now it's not wibbly wobbly in that. In fact, it's actually quite tight, and it's metal to metal as well. So it's not too bad. I've also greased it as well, so it's got grease all over it now. So that should help it, using silicone grease. M494 silicone grease. Good stuff. That was a full tube when I first got my car. Everything's had it on it. So yes, just rebuilding it all back together again now. That means that's got to go back on the bottom. That all goes on the bottom of this bit. Make sure you add the washers. Find the right washer. Which is that one there. That goes on. Add a dab of silicone onto this lot, just some grease, just to make it so it's all nice and smooth. Doesn't really need it, but I like to make sure everything's well oiled. That way it's all going to run nice and smooth, and hopefully not seize up at any moment in time. So there's a little bit of silicone on there like that. Then this guy goes on. Trust me, I've put the wrong washer one. And now the silicone grease is sticking it down. So the washer's already stuck to that. That goes on there. Poke through there, poke through there. Like that. 2 more washers go on. Like that. And then you add these little clips. Be careful because these things do fly out. So you've got to be careful how you put them, how you take them out. There you go. Now I've got my wiper. So that's all back together again. Now all I need to do is put the washers. I think I've done everything. Yep. Put the washers on here. Sorry if this is not coming out very well, guys. I can't see the screen. There we go, I can now. Like that. I'll give it a bit more silicone to stop any rust or whatnot, because I can. Should really be wearing gloves for this, but yeah. There we go. Rag. And now that if I do it the right way around, we'll slide onto there. Yeah. I've got to do it that way around. I think that's the right way around. Okie dokie. Right. I need both hands. So keep watching, guys. Alright then, it's all back together again. Yeah. All the bits are good here. That's a bit rusty, so I need to treat that. I've tried to take the clip off, but if I start playing around with that clip, it's just going to snap. So what I'm going to do is just cover it with some silicone grease, stop it from corroding any further. Let's try it. I've not got putting power directly to the motor for a 19.2 volt battery, but the battery is very flat, so it's probably only got about 10 volts in it. It's the drill won't even turn around, but it's probably just enough for this. Well, it will turn around, but stupidly slow. Let's just give it a shot, see what it does. There, you can hear how flat the battery is. Now it's come out the socket at the bottom. Yeah, my wicked wiring ways. Nothing much, but it'll do just to test it. So there we have it. That appears to work really well. Yeah, that works good. My sister goes and runs away. She wants the camera to do some recording as well. So all I need to do now is, where's the thing on again? A little bit. There we go. So what I need to do now is I need to make that top bit just so it sits on, or just a washer or a small nut, just so it sits on a bit onto here, and leave the rest of this thread poking through. Then it'll just be a case of all the noise, drilling a hole through that and just putting a nut through it. Simple and easy. So he says anyway. But yeah, I need to somehow make that to stop it from dropping through. And to obviously give that something to sit on as well. So I could probably do it. There's some aluminium piping might work. A bit too. Find something. Tons of things in here. What's that about? That's good. Maybe a little bit too big though. Oh yeah, massively too big. And now I have some in here somewhere. It's just finding it. That's another thing I could do. I could just pack it out with a load of washers, I suppose. That'd be easier. We'll see. Stay tuned. Alright there guys and girls, as you can see it's back on the car now. What I've managed to do was to make a shoulder for it to sit on. I used a 12mm, well actually I used a 13mm nylock. Screwed that down onto the threads and then filed it down a little tiny bit just so this would go on it. And then I just drilled a hole in the top of this and then put the bolt through, as you can see. So now we just need to see if it works. The noise in the background is the canopy. All good stuff. Achievement unlocked! Working wipers! It works so well! I've literally been doing this for 5 minutes and I'm still not bored of it yet. Don't you just love Fiat Panda and its single speed wiper? Intermittent or on? That's alright. Brilliant stuff. It has now got working wiper blade. Wonderful. Well guys and girls, after about, I don't know, half an hour of just the windscreen wiper going off, it's still working, so yep, I'm pretty happy with that. All working under here as well. All working up here. So yes, me equals happy. So guys and girls, thank you very much for watching this little bit of a video, well, large video. and I hope it's helped somebody else out there who's got the wiper spline problem. It's not irreplaceable. Well, it's not unfixable. It is fixable. It's just a little difficult. But it's possible to do if you can weld. And even if not, if you know someone who can weld, I'm pretty sure they'll do it for you. So yeah, all good. From inside the car. Yay! I've got steam building up because my heater matrix is leaking. But that's a different story. Actually, check out the next video, I'll do it in that. Okay guys and girls, thank you very much for watching. Peace out.